haven't filmed very much in a while. Let me just give you the rundown of what's happening. Jump back. We got about 2.5 inches. You know, that was middle September. Thought this is going to be borderline. Is it going to help the cotton or not? No one really knew. Depends on the green bulls if they'll make. So that was, I think you knew that. Got that wheat patch plowed and fertilized, and fertilizer plowed in. It was just too dry after the inch rain that we got, and so it was kind of a standstill. After that, there wasn't a whole lot of farming going on, but I did get all the wheat ground sprayed to kill the weeds. The cotton ground was not weedy, so didn't need it, but got the wheat ground sprayed. Got all that done, and then we've gotten some more rain. We've got I'm trying to think, ended up getting about 3 inches, 2.5 inches or so, 3 inches overall, and it was a really good rain, slow and soft, and it would have been a probably good decision to go ahead and plant that, but I didn't. So now this weekend, we got another inch of rain or so last night. I'm going to check on all that, and but the thing that's the biggest news is it got to 32 degrees last night. They're calling for 20s the next 2 nights. So you remember those green bowls that we were hoping that might make? Well, they'll probably not if they get frozen. Some of them probably have gotten far enough along and they'll be ready, but that freeze is going to be maybe the nail in the coffin for a lot of this cotton. That's a 2-week early freeze. This is the first part of November. It's not even November yet. The 30th of October today. Our freeze normal date is around the mid of November, so it's an early freeze, and that's kind of the thing that we didn't want to happen with those green bowls. So met with the adjuster a couple weeks ago, and everything was like one field probably take out, but the rest were wait and see. Well, the seeing is now there's a freeze, early freeze. So I don't know. Don't really know what to tell you or what to even do myself, because there's nothing I can do. It's wet. It's got, again, 32 last night. It's going to be 28 or 29 the next 2 nights for a low, and that'll probably zap that cotton. So control what you can control. There's a life lesson that works. We said that a lot when I was coaching in sports, because you cannot control much, and I for sure can't control the weather. I can only just pivot based on what happens. So what are our options? Well, maybe the cotton is better than we think, and we still end up stripping most of it. Proceed as normal. Or it freezes out and all the cotton gets taken out, or some or all of it gets taken out, and we end up having to shred it to destroy it. And then we plant our wheat earlier, which would be good for the wheat, but obviously we'd like to make a cotton crop and wouldn't be able to do that. So tough on our gens too. Our gens don't get government assistance. They only make money when we have cotton. So there's a lot of ramifications that happen from things like this. But it's such a weird year. Grew a great plant that was pretty, started to bloom and trying to set fruit, and then the moisture was just gone. It was hot, and got the rain. Then got the rains late, but maybe too late. Well, maybe it would have been okay if the freeze would have happened November 15th instead of November 1st. So stay tuned. Well, here's the update. Got another freeze. 2 nights it got to freezing or below. All the cotton looks a little bit burnt. I don't know how much. I don't think it killed a lot of it. But it's definitely been affected, and probably is. I don't know what to say. It's killed a lot of it, or it snipped it pretty good. There's still some green at the bottom that. So the plant's not dead, but it got hurt pretty good. What's that gonna do? I don't know. I'll have to tell you when that happens. When we get out there and take a look at it. Just don't really know. So couple of updates. I got a new pump. Got this from farmchem.com. And so this is the pH6 pump is what we had from FlowServe. I got a CT6 high flow. Basically it's the same as what I had. See, same. Not sponsored by them at all, but I ordered this on a Thursday. They shipped it on a Friday. It was delivered on a Monday. That was crazy fast. I went with the Viton seals. versus EPDM rubber, which can kind of like my wedding rings. When I get gas on them, they swell and be no good. Certain chemicals are not good with rubber, oily, petroleum-based products, more acidic, things like that. So Viton's supposed to be better. So that's what I went with. I'll just save this for the spring and get it put on in the spring. The other one still works, it just leaks, remember? So I'll use it for other stuff, water and things I need. So other update, today I went to town, got a grill guard for my truck. So yeah, been wanting to get that. This is a 24 truck. They don't actually make the 24 Ranch Hand. The place I went in town, they modify the 23s, and I think it looks good. Fits the lines. There's just one bracket adjustment they had to make. And so yeah, decided with the grill guard instead of the full bumper and grill guard combo, because I don't think I need it, but also it's twice as much or more. So, well, I'm back. You don't know from what, I guess. Well, I was camping. We went camping. Did I tell you that? Well, I went camping. I didn't, with my family. Did that kind of the last one of the year before it gets cold. Got the camper back in the barn yesterday. It's winterized. Never done that before. Hoping that works. Did some more moving around. We had both tractors in here. Stripper turned the other direction. Got it moved because we're going to need that chain hoist. We're going to have to work on the saw drums, fix some, just do some things. And so it's there in the right spot. I got the grain cart with the new hitch on it, moved over to this door so it's easier to get out. And what was there was the grain drill. It's now not there. It is hooked up. Already checked the air on the tires, just got to grease it, go over a couple things and get it filled with grain. Probably tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get that 120 acres sowed. Before I got to do that, I need to spray. There's about 80 gallons of chemicals still left in the spray tractor. That'll be enough. There's just one at Rocky Hill. It's got some weeds coming up, some grass, could be oats, could be wheat, but if it's oats, worth killing it. So I'm gonna go and spray that out. So yeah, drive over there just for that, but I think it'd be worth it. I was getting that tractor out of the barn yesterday. Emily helped me do a lot of stuff. And a couple of leaks, coolant. There's a leak of coolant underneath. And so I haven't looked into that yet, but it's somewhere. It looked like it was concentrated around the tube. Can you see the tube sticking down? There's a tube somewhere. I can't point to it, but I'm gonna look at that. Likely, did get cold. Had some, hopefully just easy. Had some hoses that contracted in the cold weather and allowed some coolant, some antifreeze to leak by. Hope that's easy. So that's one thing I got to check. Next thing, saw another leak, a little hydraulic leak. This one's harder to get to, so I'm gonna crawl under here. So here, where the hydraulic filters are, it was kind of wet, and that is where it was really wet. So there's a sensor right there. Last year when I was defoliating cotton, maybe you can see there's some zip ties holding that together. We need to rewire that. That's actually right where cotton stalks go, right through here, and it broke that connector last year when I was spraying. I can't remember what the error code was, but that was our Southern Engineering fix in the field, and it's held up. We've got the stuff to fix that connector. We just need to do it. So something's leaking there. Hopefully also just a cold issue. Something's a little bit loose. So I'm getting that cleaned up now. Get the hydraulic oil cleaned up. Try to get some brake cleaner that will get rid of that oil, and then I can try to see where the mess is and tighten anything that needs to be tightened. Again, hopefully that's an easy fix. Old tractors in general, stuff just breaks down, so hopefully that's easy. So once I get this all situated, the boys have Thanksgiving. It's early, it's like the first part of November, but Thanksgiving lunch, I'm gonna go run up and do that. But when I get back, I may spray, I also may cut down some grandma's tree in her front yard. I got the saw for that, the chainsaw for that. Just things. So stay tuned. Keep watching. You know you want to, because you love what I'm doing and you want to see more. So see you soon. All right, looking at the coolant now. I think I found maybe the issue. Can you see? I bet it won't focus. Right there, my finger. Can I get to focus? There. Can you see it's wet? That's the highest point that I can see. I think it's this hose. There's a hose clamp I can tighten there. I'm thinking it's leaking underneath there. And so let me get down. Let's see. I'm trying to trace it down, but it's hard to see. Let's see. So that's the, wait for it. Okay. There is the hose clamp that I'm going to tighten right there. There's some more dripping. That's the, I was just looking at the top side of that. There's the bottom side coming around. And then this is where it's hard to tell. It's obviously wet right here. So I can't really see up there to see it's directly dripping, but it's definitely wet there. There's a little drip there. Now, I thought it was coming out of this tube because, see, it's wet. So I thought it was the tube, but it's not wet anywhere else. When I finally saw it drop, I guess this is just dried, but I think it was dropping down from where I just showed you, running, and then going on the outside of the tube. And that's why I saw the big pile in the barn. So I'm hoping just tighten that one clamp in there may fix the issue. All right, update. I got the bolt clamp tightened. Just take my word for it, it's tighter. And we'll just assume that that's the issue until we find some more stuff. So that was fairly easy, I think, hopefully. The other thing, I was just on the phone with Dad, he's out of town. But on this one here, the hydraulic leak, I've got it cleaned up. And I think it's this tube right here. So it comes out, it S's over, and it comes into this hydraulic pump housing. I think it's leaking from here, but underneath. This part bolts in, obviously. This part just slides in with it. There's an O-ring. The problem is the pump you see here is bolted to the tractor. And so here's, well, let me see if I can show you from underneath. No, you can't really tell, but between those sensors, right there between those two sensors, or that one sensor and the other thing, is where I think it's leaking. Right now it's dry because I cleaned it. But here's the concern. We have to be able to get this part to slide out of the housing. I'm hoping that once we undo these bolts that we can pivot this up to be able to slide this part out. And if we can't do that, that's going to be a big pain in the butt. Also, probably he's going to need to drain the hydraulic oil to do that, we're guessing. Don't know that for sure. We'll check with the John Deere technicians or see what they say. This needs a hydraulic oil change in about 500 hours, which is still 500 hours, and we don't put a ton on this tractor, so I don't know. It's not bad. Can it wait? Probably can get us through the end of the season and through the winter, because it won't do anything in the winter. And we'll just watch it. If not, could be oil change early. So, hydraulic, good. I'm gonna check that after I spray the rest of that tank out. Now I'm going to put this shield back on. It's called a shield. And then time to go eat lunch at 10:45 in the morning. Little kids in school eat lunch so early. All right, well, back from the lunch at school. It was good, really good. Thanksgiving dinner, lunchroom at Rule doing a awesome job. Send your kids to Rule if you live in the area. We'd love to have them. It's a great place to be. I'm going to spray out this little bit of this tank. Went and got some diesel in town. In town, I mean by Rule. Simpsons old rule for people for a long time. Anyways, just put a little bit in here because it doesn't really matter. But if you get too much in that diesel tank, it can overflow because of the heat. It's pretty warm today. So going to spray this on the way to the field. All right, well, I just sprayed it out. You didn't miss much. It took me about 3 minutes, just like I expected it to, but needed to be done. It's clean. There's nothing out there. There's a little bit of maybe some volunteer wheat that's coming up. I'll show you the hill up here in a second, but yeah, moisture still looks good. Hope to gotta get going here. Gotta get home, get back to the barn, and get a few things done before we gotta get back. We do a Bible study at Abilene I gotta get home for. But hope to be able to get this sowed in wheat, or drilled in wheat, or planted in wheat, you know, whatever you'd like to say, tomorrow. And then I'll be moving on to the next thing, decide what are we doing with the cotton. And I need to talk to you about that. But here's the hill. All right, try to avoid these things from the grading the roads. But yeah, there's the hill. Can you tell? It's rocky. But yeah, there's a little bit of some green cast there. And who knows? I think it's probably mostly wheat, but could be wild oats. Don't want wild oats getting into my wheat sample for next year, so just made a couple rounds there on the end, and that should take care of that. So now in terms of the cotton, we had the freeze, 2 days of freezes, and it's like every day the cotton looks more and more dead. So I guess it killed the cotton better than I thought it was going to, considering it didn't get as cold as they were saying, or really I didn't think it was enough, but maybe it was enough mostly to kill it. So problem is those bolls that were not quite ready, most of them probably are destroyed. I went out in the field the other morning and squeezed on some, and they were just kind of squishy and wet still on the inside. So that's disappointing, because I think those would have made if we had 2 more weeks of growing, you know, a normal freeze date, but we didn't. So I'll have to meet with the adjuster again and get a new appraisal. You know, some more white has shown up out there, and that's expected. The leaves are dead. You'll see more of what's underneath. And also some that were ready maybe popped open, but not many. Not as much as we'd like. There's a lot of green bolls that are there. So stay tuned. I'll go out of the field and try to get you a look at that soon, but decide if we're going to strip and harvest, or what we're going to strip and harvest, and if not, what we're going to have to destroy and shred. And then, anyways, lots of challenges this year, but that's farming. I am been blowing off this green drill just because it's pretty dirty, and I'm getting dirty, but it's looking better. All right, blowing's done. I'm gonna grease everything, which is not fun to watch. Just believe that it happens. Then I gotta go. And tomorrow, we're gonna put grain in those boxes. And then we're gonna put grain down those tubes into the ground, and we're gonna grow some wheat. You just keep watching. It's an amazing thing. Seed, water, soil, the Lord's provision. We grow food and fiber. It's the greatest thing. Keep watching. If you're gonna farm it.